am 40 weeks pregnant. I keep thinking, oh, I could just, be feeling fine in 1 minute and then suddenly be in active labor. These are the last moments that I have with Malachi as a single child and as a family of 3. It's easy to look forward to those milestones that you miss the moments that are happening right there, and then you look back and you're like, wow, it just went by so fast. Hello friends, welcome to another video. My name is Kelsey Ann and I put together homemaking and motherhood videos on this channel. I'm so glad you're able to join me for another week, which the fact that I am here still, it means that I have not gone into labor yet and I am 40 weeks pregnant with my baby girl, Violet. By the time this video gets posted, I'll be 41 weeks and a couple days pregnant. And so assuming I don't go into labor between now and then, that's how far along I'll be by the time you're seeing this. As of right now, I am 40 weeks and 4 days overdue, basically. And I don't put a lot of stock in the 40-week mark because you don't always have an exact number. The due date is kind of more of an educated guess than an actual set date. So, I'm never gonna get my hopes up and assume that it's going to happen on the 40-week mark. And when I was pregnant with my first, Malachi, I went 10 days over, which seemed like a lot at the time. It seems like a lot now even, but that actually is pretty typical of a lot of first pregnancies, is to go overdue by 10 days actually. It's pretty standard. So I kind of expected to be close to my due date, if not past it by a little bit. I'm hoping that I don't go as far overdue as I was with Malachi, because I don't want to have to wait that long to meet our baby girl, but she'll come when she's supposed to come, and that's kind of just how my husband and I are looking at it right now. I haven't done any other pregnancy updates. I just thought it would be fun, since I hit my due date and have passed it, I thought it would be fun to go over some of my symptoms and things and kind of how I'm feeling and just chat with you all about that. This pregnancy has been pretty similar to my first. Some of the ways it's been different, I think, is just the overall, earlier on in the first trimester, when I dealt with a little bit of morning sickness. I didn't get hit that hard with either pregnancy. However, I did get some morning sickness, and with my first pregnancy, it was a little bit more predictable. Usually eating would help if I was feeling sick. And with this pregnancy, it was more sporadic. I didn't know when I was gonna feel kind of icky, and then eating didn't always help, which is kind of a bummer. But I did, overall, I think I was sick less than I was with Malachi. So, that was kind of nice. I've been more tired this pregnancy and more emotional, I think, more hormonal feeling. And part of that, I think, does have to do with having a toddler. Obviously, I'm raising a toddler right now. When I was pregnant with my first, I didn't have any other kids to worry about. And so that does kind of drain you when you're already caring for a little one, and then your body's going through all these difficult things and working so hard. It does make it more draining during the day. But I think I also am I've been more tired in general, just like more sleepy tired than I was with Malachi. And that's kind of come and gone. That hasn't been so much the case throughout the whole pregnancy, but just in different points through the pregnancy, I found that to be true. And then I've also been more emotional, for sure. And I think the more life that someone experiences, the more that you experience on a personal level, it is going to make somebody more emotional as a person. And I found that to be true for myself the more I've experienced in my life, because I'm only 27 years old. I mean, some would say I haven't experienced a whole lot yet, but the more of life that I experience, such as losing a loved one or having a child of my own, it just brings this whole new level of emotion that didn't exist before. I've never been the kind of girl that cries very easily, like for movies and things. But I definitely have become more emotional as a person as I've gotten older, and not in a bad way. So pregnancy's definitely brought that out more. And so I found that to be true, like during this pregnancy. I think I've been, I don't know if it's because I'm pregnant with a girl that I found myself being more emotional, but just, I think the older I get, the more emotional I get just as a person in general, whether or not I'm pregnant. So I kind of thought that was interesting. As far as other symptoms, right now, I mean, I had a couple times where I was feeling kind of achy. I had one night several weeks ago where I really had trouble sleeping because I kept getting these Braxton Hicks, and then baby was moving around and it was kind of painful just because she's so low. I had like a few contractions that were a little bit achy, but it wasn't really a big deal. And obviously it didn't turn into anything because this was, like I said, maybe 2 weeks ago. And so I keep getting teased with these little, like, I'll feel like a little bit of achiness, or I'll feel a little zing in my belly, and something that, you know, hurts a little bit differently. And it just keeps teasing me. I'll kind of, you know, take note of it. I try not to focus on it too much, but then it'll go away, and I'll just later realize as I'm going about my day, oh yeah, I'm not feeling achy anymore, I'm not hurting anymore. So, you know, obviously it wasn't anything. It just kind of feels like my body is gearing up. It just hasn't actually gone into that that early labor stage yet. And so that's another thing, going into early labor. With Malachi, I was expecting to deal with early labor. I mean, most people can have hours and hours of early labor before they actually get to the real deal. And I'm a doula as well, so I knew all the signs and symptoms to look for, and I wasn't going to be contacting anybody saying I'm in labor prematurely. Anytime, you know, I'd get little bouts of achiness or pain or whatever, it wasn't something that I really focused on, because I expected to have a lot of time to go from recognizing that I'm starting to go into labor till actually having active labor. However, the night that I went into labor with Malachi, that evening, I think I remember feeling like some little zing or something in my belly that hurt a little bit, like once or twice. But I didn't have an overall achiness. I didn't have a lot of pain or anything that I was dealing with. I was at that point 9 days overdue. So obviously it was going to happen soon, but I had my hopes up so many times before that. I just wasn't thinking that much of it, really. I didn't think much of it. And I went to bed, and around 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up having severe cramping, and by 6, I was on the floor just trying to deal with those contractions as they came. And so basically what I'm trying to explain is that I didn't really get to experience early labor in the way that I thought I would. I don't know if it just suddenly came on, if I somehow slept through it. I don't know. I went to bed and I was fine. I woke up and I was in active labor. So that being said, we kind of expected a faster labor. I ended up laboring, it was like 12 or 13 hours total from when I went into labor to actually delivering Malachi, which isn't bad for your first. Again, it seems kind of long, but that really wasn't too bad. But I don't think it went as fast as I expected it to. That being said, I just keep thinking that I'm just knowing what my body did last time and how it just went from 0 to 60 so quickly. At least that's what it felt like for me. I keep thinking that could happen for this one. So as much as I expect to, you know, potentially deal with the early labor thing, I keep thinking, oh, you know, I could just, you know, be feeling fine in 1 minute and then suddenly be in active labor. So I'm just kind of more aware of every little ache or pain or anything that feels different, which doesn't help when you're 40 weeks pregnant and you're trying to just go on like normal, and you just have all this anticipation built up for this big moment. It just is better to be able to go on with your life and not think about it too much, or time's going to drag a little bit more. From 37 weeks, you can safely have a baby. It's okay to go into labor. The doctor's not going to try and stop that. And and so I just, from week 37, there's this anticipation that's built up because it could happen. But at this point, I'm definitely ready to meet our little girl. and I want to go into labor soon so that I can have this baby and, you know, get started with this new chapter in our lives. But at the same time, I've just been trying to soak up every moment that I have. These are the last moments that I have with Malachi as a single child and as a family of 3, and it's very, very exciting and incredible to think about what a huge change this will bring to our family. It was a huge change to bring a child into our family for the first time, but going from 1 to 2 is a huge change as well, and it's going to change my husband and my lives forever. And so just recognizing that, it builds up the excitement, but at the same time it kind of gives me reason to pause and really just be in the moment and enjoy these little moments that I have with my son and with my husband, and with this dynamic that we will have for maybe only hours, maybe another week, I don't know. But the reality is soon that's all going to go away, and so just want to cherish those moments now and not pass them by because I'm looking forward to something in the future. And that's really something that has been a challenge, but it's been really important for me to do as a parent. You know, you have all this build up for your child being born, and then once Malachi was born, you have different milestones that you're looking forward to, and it's easy to so look forward to those milestones that you miss the moments that are happening right there, and then you look back and you're like, wow, it just went by so fast. And they really do. And so I really want to treasure each moment as they come and not be in a hurry to bypass them. As far as any other symptoms, I mean, I felt really good. Mid-morning I get pretty tired. I've got a toddler, so I can't just nap whenever I want, but that's okay. Just kind of sit around a little bit more. Basically, what's really helped is just utilizing those moments where I do have the energy to get things done. And I've had a lot of energy. I've had a lot of nesting going on, and a lot of, you know, I love cleaning and organizing, so getting ready for a baby just puts fuel on the fire in that regard. And just trying to make sure everything's ready. Lord willing, we're going to have her at home like we did with Malachi. And then of course, knowing that I'm going to have a baby, my priorities are going to be different. So I want to make sure everything's as clean as it can be and ready for her to come. But anyway, I'm not going to bore you any longer with that. I just thought I would let you know where things are at right now. And at this point, you know, we're ready to meet her. We definitely are. I definitely am not as miserable at this point in the pregnancy that I was with Malachi. When I was pregnant with Malachi, I had a lot of back pain, and I've had some back pain and discomfort this pregnancy. However, I remember like not being able, like sitting here this whole time for this video would have been pretty miserable. Anything I tried with my back as far as massage and, you know, different positions, stretching and all that just wasn't helping. So it was definitely a challenge, and this pregnancy, I felt really good. I've had a good amount of energy, especially considering that I'm chasing a toddler. I feel like I just feel very healthy. You know, any of my issues have been minor, for sure. So that's been a huge blessing. I'm just eager to be able to see a face. Like, there's so much bonding that happens when I'm, you know, carrying this baby in my womb for 9 months. But you get to the point where there's only so much bonding you can do, and you just want to actually see her face to face. And so that's what we're really looking forward to, and just praying for a healthy baby. I don't want to take for granted that we had a healthy pregnancy the first time around, because, you know, we never know what can happen. You never know if something could go wrong, but just trust God with that and know that He's in control no matter what, and just enjoy what's left of this short season in our life. And I'm just so ready to embrace this next season. So I guess that will be all for this video. Thank you so much for listening. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate you sitting here and listening to me ramble. I'm going to be posting a video next week if I'm not in labor by then. So if you enjoyed this and would like more content, go ahead and click the thumbs up, and go ahead and hit the bell button if you want to be notified anytime I post a new video. I'm going to link my Instagram in the description below so you can kind of follow what's going on there, and, you know, when I do have the baby, I'll be posting something there so you can just kind of keep up to date and know whether or not to expect another video anytime soon. And that being said, I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.